Hongshan Prehistoric Material Millefiori Colored Glass. Today I would like to share a remarkable prehistoric material from the Hongshan culture, Millefiori Colored Glass. Many people have asked our association. Today, National Hongshan Culture Museums mainly display jade artifacts, so why has your association identified more than 140 different materials? This has already shocked many Hongshan researchers and experts, and now the discovery of 4 pieces of Millefiori colored glass seems even more unbelievable. Most people understand that ancient Chinese glass dates back to the Western Zhou Dynasty according to historical records. However, after our association published research on the Hongshan colored glass sun god, the history of glass can now be traced back to prehistoric times. Let me first introduce one red-colored glass sun god figure. This artifact features horizontal pillar patterns, and its most extraordinary characteristic is that inside the glass, one can clearly see many 6-petaled column-like structures with blue or red floral cores. At the broken openings, holes, and uneven fractured areas, it becomes clear that both sides of these 6-petaled columns were originally connected. We also discovered that inside the finger and toe grooves of this red sun god figure, there are U-shaped hooked tool marks identical to those found in groove carvings of Hongshan jade artifacts preserved in major museums. We call this feature tool marks within tool marks. These tool within tool marks are considered impossible to reproduce today using any modern tools or technology. Because of this, we have not only identified more than 140 different prehistoric Hongshan materials, but we are also able to study and decode the intentional messages left behind by Hongshan ancestors, helping restore more prehistoric truths and lost history. Another yellow-colored glass sun god figure, when illuminated by strong light, reveals even more clearly these extraordinary 6-petaled 3-dimensional straight column structures inside the colored glass. How Hongshan ancestors were able to create such advanced 6-petaled columnar glass remains astonishing and demonstrates their extraordinary intelligence. I found an article online titled, "Italy's Secret Millefiori Glass That Nearly Disappeared: How Are Glass Flowers Put Inside Glass?" The article describes a production method very similar to Hongshan Millefiori colored glass. A long glass rod contains colorful patterns in its center, visible when viewed from the cross-section. Through repeated melting, stretching, merging, and compressing, the desired design gradually forms within the cross-section. The article also states that ancient Egypt first invented mosaic glass with floral patterns, and it was not until the 1st century BCE that glass-making technology spread to Rome. Interestingly, according to our association's research, Hongshan ancestors, the sun gods, once traveled across the seas and brought advanced civilization and technology to ancient Egypt. Therefore, it is highly likely that the manufacturing techniques of Hongshan colored glass were transmitted to ancient Egypt, and from there later passed to Rome. I strongly believe that Italian Millefiori glass and prehistoric Hongshan colored glass sun god artifacts share a direct technological inheritance and close connection. Returning to the making of the Hongshan colored glass sun god, first, the 6-petaled column structures with red and blue floral cores were created. Then, these patterned columns were stacked in sequence, and a layer of single-colored molten glass was fused around them, forming a solid block of raw glass material. Only after this process were the outer shapes of the sun god figures cut and carved. The grooves were then further refined using the tool marks within tool marks technique, leaving hidden messages for future Hongshan descendants to discover and study. Finally, with extraordinary prehistoric Hongshan carving technology, the complete figure was shaped into what we now call the Hongshan colored glass sun god. Using the same principle, other objects were also carved from similar materials, resulting in many mysterious colored glass artifacts that remain unexplained today. Therefore, if you happen to own a similar colored glass artifact, it is very likely to be a prehistoric Hongshan relic. Through the tool marks within tool marks, we can confirm these are prehistoric Hongshan artifacts. At the same time, through the extreme difficulty of this manufacturing technology, we can deeply appreciate that Hongshan ancestors possessed not only great wisdom, but also pursued perfection itself. As the saying goes, before them, none existed, after them, none shall come.